created a bunch of fun items for some one-shot ideas, a dungeon I designed over the summer, but I haven't like for release that I haven't released yet because I'm really good at this whole content game. Um, but it's actually I want to dedicate a couple of writing sessions or maybe one big long one to some item creation for uh the Critter Cottage one shot that I'm doing. Um, Critter Cottage might not be a bad name for the one shot. Um, Specifically because that the idea of the creatures, the fantastical creatures that are being researched, being used to kind of dilute and create little items, assuming that they could be fun to use during the one shot. It's lame to give items that don't get used during the one shot because one shot's over, and then like, what was the point of that? Oh, one of the best ones. Shoot, put me on the spot. I don't. I like simple. I like simple items. This isn't from the one shot, but this is now. This is current. Let me just check. My players aren't listening. I'll never know. Don't send this to them. My favorite magic right. My favorite magic items right now are a set that my party has that they don't realize are cursed. Now that sounds like a bad practice, right? That sounds like um like a jerk move. Yeah, twin. Um but when my party went to the Feywild, they basically solved a time loop, that back to that 11th hour thing that I cribbed from the Adventure Zone. And as part of their like thank you gift, this like crazy Fey artificer gave them these little kind of like time turner-y type items, like they were clockwork time-based items. So like like the fighter, one of them I think has like a button that they can press that basically gives somebody else that they see during a combat initiative like a retry on either like a saving throw or something like that. I think the druid has they're all little mechanical things, so like a switch, a button. The druid has one that allows her to basically throw an action into the future. So she does it now, and it doesn't land until the next round, but she's effectively doing it ahead of time. And maybe the most powerful of them, the rogue has effectively it's like what do you call it? Timekeeper, like tick 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 tick. It's something like that. Uh, you guys will get it before me, so I've given up thinking about it just for the record. Um, but the rogue has one of those metronome. Yeah, see, I knew you guys would. And it allows them to basically take a long rest in as short a time as they would like. It's still limited to once per day, but if they want to if they want to basically turn this thing on and say we're going to long rest in 1 second, then they do. They've used this to cheese a boss once. They've used this just out of convenience. They've used all the items a number of times. They're really good items, and they're kind of overpowered and broken, right? That's because I really want them to use them. You ready for the cursed part? It's so good. It's so good. It's so good because back to, I think I complained about this earlier. Is there a way to do a curse that's not that's not like a pain, right? And so this is my take on a curse that's not a pain, that's like an exciting gameplay thing. They're signing checks you can't cash. What happens when someone combines all three? If there's actually four, but if I forget the fourth one, but if they, I'd have to look at my notes. If they use all of them, then once every so often they can combine all of it and actually peer into the future. Unbelievably, they haven't done that. I can't believe they haven't done that. They keep mentioning it, and then they're like, "Oh shoot, we forgot. We just used that. Next go round, we need to remember not to use them all day. That way, we can use them to look into the campaign future." Okay, but this is the really fun part. The curse, and why I want them to use them is that I keep a tally. I know exactly how many times they've used all of these things. and um, use of these magic items, which again, let's remind ourselves, are a crazed Fey inventor gave them to them after they solved like a time crisis. So these things are basically breaking the world. They're changing things. They're creating time paradoxes in their timeline, basically in the world that they know. And it's just creeping up on them. It's just a little bit at a time. Temporal debt, that's correct. So like they came out of a dungeon, the one that they cheesed a boss, they cheesed this vampire with it, where they were like, hey, can't we just like, isn't this an action? Can't I like long rest us in the middle of this combat? And I'm like, oh, shit, I never thought about that one before, but I really want them to use this stuff. So yeah, I don't see why not. They're like, oh my God, they're like high-fiving. They're like, this is amazing. This is the most amazing item ever. And I'm thinking, mm-hmm. So they left that dungeon, they left that boss and checked their map, and they started traveling, and through NPCs, and as they were traveling, they're like, oh no, that's not what that river is called. No, you guys got that right. Cross that. Where'd you get that? Is this, who gave you this map? No, that's not what the river's called. They've used it a bunch in their current kind of mega dungeon that they're going through. So when they come out, the people that they dealt with and the names and the stuff, like a lot of that's going to have changed too. And this is all building to basically like a time crisis kind of arc, kind of moment where like a member of their party from the future comes to them. I'm not sure exactly. It's just like a vague idea, but I love the idea of somebody coming to them being like, what the hell have you guys been doing? Like, I'm here to help you guys put this right. Just tell me what you've been doing. What have you been doing that's been causing all this? They're like, well, we use these things. It's like, seriously. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited for that to come back around, and again, not to punish them, but to hopefully create more fun in the game by, like, there are entities that come after you if you futz around with time. How do you explain the existence of a dungeon in your world building? Somebody made it, right? That's the cheap answer. It was so long ago. Like, somebody made it. It took them a lot of time. And the question is, they need to have a reason for it. Every dungeon that exists, generally in my world, it used to be a structure that did something, and now it's been abandoned, or it was dilapidated, it's ruins, and then somebody else came in and made it a hideout, and then they were run out by goblins, and now it's like a nest, and then the players get there. So there's usually a couple layers of it feeling lived in or used or like a part of the world. That's kind of how I approach it. So like, start from a place of like, what's this used for? Why is it here? And that could be as simple as it's a shrine. It was a religious, like, it was a place of worship. Maybe they built it under the ground because they were being persecuted, and so they had to go underground, and this is the only place they could do it. Or maybe this was so long ago that it was like the weather was hostile, so they took it underground, and that's where they built their living quarters. It used to be a Blockbuster.